Well, hey there folks, how you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm coming to you from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm at the Cosmic Summit, which is a conference devoted to the study of ancient civilizations, megalithic cultures, ancient technologies, things that we may have forgotten as modern people, thinking that we are the most advanced things that ever existed. And this conference is about learning about the knowledge of ancient societies and ancient cultures at various famous sites throughout the world. What made me motivated to come here was the Thunderstorm Generator. Malcolm Bendall and Bob Grenier are here to give a presentation about the Thunderstorm Generator. Now, if you'll remember, I did a video about this a few months ago, and the cool thing is they have some Thunderstorm Generator equipped generators, typical ordinary combustion generators, with the Thunderstorm equipment attached. These, and I'll put up the photos here. I've learned a lot more about it today, and there's also a full-day workshop tomorrow. So the premise of the Thunderstorm Generator is you take a typical gas combustion engine and you put on some equipment, so-called Rank-Hill vortex tubes, that use plasmoids or EVOs, charge clusters, to extract even more energy from the combustion process, and as an added benefit, do some nucleonic transmutation, alchemy as it were, to transform the carbon components of the exhaust into other gases which don't contribute to carbon in the atmosphere, and make the generator safer because you reduce carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide too. But carbon monoxide obviously is a very dangerous gas that comes out of, if you've been around generators, very unhealthy to be around and dangerous, and kills a lot of people, unfortunately, every year, especially in the United States, especially up in Alaska, where generators are used a lot for people that live off the grid. So we did see some tests today of the Thunderstorm Generator. I found it to be really fascinating. A generator was turned on without the Thunderstorm equipment attached, and it created the typical exhaust emissions from the tailpipe. Malcolm Bendall measured the output of the ordinary generator. And then we saw a Thunderstorm Generator, which, you know, if you've watched Bob Grenier's videos about this, he's been testing them a lot too on his own. We saw the same results. The Thunderstorm equipped generators with these vortex tubes, balls, on the outside after the carburetor, seem to reduce the carbon monoxide output from around, if I'm getting this correctly, 7% from the regular generator to under 0.5%. This is a huge reduction in the Thunderstorm generators. And the way it works, if you take a look at this photo, from my understanding, you have what's called the bubbler, which is basically a big tube filled with ordinary water and a lot of stainless steel pads, which generates in a very mild way this so-called HHO gas, the oxyhydrogen gas, which is sort of a separated hydrogen oxygen. It's like a gas form of water where the oxygen and the hydrogen are separated, and this forms negatively charged charge clusters. The exhaust that comes out on the upper part, as you can see coming out from the carburetor in the generator, is hot and positively charged, and the gas coming from the bubbler unit, in theory, is negatively charged. You've got charge separation, what we've talked about on this channel in the past, Ken Shoulders. Charge clusters form from initially charged separation. So you've got this charge separation. And the net effect is when the negatively charged HHO gas mixes with the hot positively charged gases of the generator coming from the carburetor, it goes from this tube that you can see back into the carburetor, and now the gases have a second life to create energy, and when they hit the spark of the spark plug, it creates a coulombic reaction that creates another explosive force. So you've gotten the combustion energy out of the carbon chains in the petroleum product, but now the second time around you've got these charge clusters coming together, creating exotic vacuum objects, what Malcolm calls plasmoids, but I think are more commonly thought of as exotic vacuum objects from as Ken Shoulders called them. And basically they go back again, and now there's a sort of a coulombic repulsive reaction which creates more pressure, the net effect being you've extracted more energy from the same amount of gas. So the energy efficiency of the generator goes up, assuming this all works the way we're told it works. And you transform the carbon into nitrogen and other inert components. I think there's some phosphorus there and other exhaust components, which suggest that these engines equipped this way could clean up the air. You have to admit, it's pretty cool looking to see those vortex tubes there. Now let me tell you something about those vortex Rank-Hilsch vortex tubes. The balls that you see there are like Russian dolls. I'm told there are 3 other spheres within those welded together ball units, and they're annealed too, so they react to heat better. And so the cold charge clusters come up one way, and then when they go through the tube again, they come through the outer shell, and those are where plasmas form from this reaction between the negative and the positive charges and the spark of the spark plug. And so there's different layers to these vortex tubes, and it's on this inside of the outer layer that you get these plasmoids, exotic vacuum objects, charge clusters forming, which allow them to make the combustion process more efficient. Now, these are still being tested, and we were told that they are being tested by the UK in London to be certified later this month in June 2024. So that'll be a big step if they get this certification. And I'm not an engineer, so I can't completely, from my own knowledge, say that this is doing exactly what the creators claim it's doing. But from my eyes today, I can tell you that when the generator was turned on that didn't have this equipment, it just smelled like typical dirty exhaust gases if you've ever been around a generator. And the one that was equipped with the Thunderstorm equipment had a completely different smell to it. It didn't smell dirty, it didn't smell dangerous. Keep in mind, carbon monoxide is odorless, but there's a lot of other things about combustion engines, obviously, that your nose can pick up. It really smelled different, and it smelled a lot healthier and cleaner for exhaust gas. And if you think if we equipped all of our vehicles with this, how much it would help clean up the atmosphere, especially in third world countries where, you know, pollution and exhaust gases are a very serious issue, places like China and India, and even here in the US, you know, typical cities, even with all the EVs around, you're still going to get a lot of dirty pollution smell, and those P2.5 and 10 particles are not good for your lungs to breathe in. So this is potentially a very important discovery. And we are here in North Carolina, which is where the Wright brothers did their first successful test flights before out in the Outer Banks and Kitty Hawk. So this is a state where important inventions have happened before they went back to Huffman Prairie in Dayton, Ohio, to continue their flights. But their first successful flights, as you know, were on the Outer Banks here. So this is a state where new inventions start. And maybe this Thunderstorm Generator is one of those new inventions. I haven't seen any evidence to contradict that idea, but I think all the tests need to be done on it for us to make completely sure, so we're sure that this carbon is really being transmuted into other harmless elements. After all, we're talking about the idea of alchemy, something you and I were taught in school with some sort of medieval fantasy. But now it seems like one of the cool outcomes of cold fusion, low energy nuclear reaction experiments, LENR, is not only the idea of creating excess heat, more heat coming out than you put in from the somewhere from the atomic lattice, from the reactions that go on there to create these itonic clusters, as Takeaki Matsumoto called them. Not exactly neutron fusion, but other types of particles coming together from a very strong attractive force when they're pushed together, when they're compressed together. It's not just the idea of excess heat. Perhaps the first best use of this technology would be like a mini step, which would just be to clean up exhaust using plasmoids, to clean up the exhaust of all these combustion engines, which would really quicken the cycle of cleaning up the atmosphere, lowering the carbon content, global warming, things like that. And it would also lessen the need for EVs, which, you know, I mean, at this point in time are still pretty darn expensive and rely on questionable labor practices in Africa to get the lithium and the other metals and materials you need to make the batteries. So it's a potentially exciting development. I'm looking forward to this secondary day-long seminar about it tomorrow. But I think it's fascinating. Now, I'm always interested to hear what you think about it, so put your comments and ideas in the box below. And of course, I will keep you updated. So take care for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Take care for now, and bye.